is Samya Kundia.
I'm Pooja Jagannathan. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So today I'll ask you certain questions on how family life was back then and how family life is today and how school life was back then.
Okay, sure.
So like we're doing a project on the contrast of the family life, school life, like basically our topic's 3 generations. So we're collecting data on that. We're doing a project. So, can you give me a short description of your family when you were a teenager?
I had a pretty small family. I'm an only child, so it was just me and my parents. And I also had 2 cousins who lived with me. They were my first cousins. So there was a brother who was like 3 years elder to me, and then I also had a sister who was 3 years younger to me. So yeah, that's how we used to live.
Yeah. So, like, where did you exactly live with your parents? Like,
So we lived in Powai Hiranandani. That's where I've been brought up most of my life. And we lived in a 3-bed apartment, complex setting, very much similar to what you live in today. Yeah.
yeah. So, do you remember any historical event or a fact from when you were a teenager related to India or something?
So, I mean, if you talk about a historical event that occurred when I was a teenager, so it was the one that it was the attack at the Taj Mahal Hotel. It happened.
26/11.
Yeah, 26/11. So it was pretty much like a 9 or 10 standard when it happened, and so that was very scary to be honest, because there were like things in the attacks happened in Leopold Cafe,
Yeah.
and so that happened exactly the time when we were teenagers, and we knew these places, we used to visit these places.
Yeah.
So it was pretty scary.
Traumatized.
Yeah, so yeah, that was like a huge event that happened.
Yeah. So now I'll ask you certain questions on school life.
Yeah, sure.
So, from what age did you start attending school? Until what age did you like stop at?
I think there's no particular age I stopped at. I started at play school and then did my complete schooling till 10th standard, followed by junior college, followed by degree college, followed by my master's. So I have been in school at least till 24 years of age roughly.
So, how was the school system organized in terms of primary and secondary education?
So we did have a separation of primary and secondary education. So primary education was till the grade of 4th standard, and then 5th standard to 10th standard was the secondary education. And there was some transition in terms of like a very basic one I remember is we used to have pencils till 4th standard, and then 5th standard we started using fountain pens. And we used Parker fountain pen, so that was it. And I think there were some uniform changes also. I think for girls it wasn't very different, but for men, at least for the boys, they went from shorts to full pants. I think for the regular uniform, I think we still had shorts. And obviously it also got tougher in terms of subjects and things like that. Like, there were more subjects, it was more extensive. Yeah.
So, could you choose your subjects? If so, which subjects did you choose?
We couldn't choose a subject till 9th standard, and after 9th standard we could choose a subject.
Yeah.
So I was in ICSE, so you had the option to do either science or commerce. And then if you chose commerce, then you had a separate subset of subjects. And even if you chose science, within that you had some extra subjects that you could choose, like technical drawing, computer science, etc. So I ended up taking computer science. They also offered languages like French and Hindi, like you could pick either one. But we didn't have a lot of takers for French, so it was Hindi throughout as an extra language.
Yeah. And did you feel a lot of pressure to perform well in school and like peer pressure and all?
Not exactly peer pressure, but the school system was such, right? So on annual day, you would get certificates and medals if you got distinction in 3 terms. Like I think 5th standard or 4th standard onwards, we had general proficiency, which you get a certificate and a medal. You also had subject prizes. So if you get the highest throughout in your standard, you would get a medal again. So it's not exactly a direct pressure, but then you do feel like you want to get on the stage, get that medal in front of your friends and parents. People also used to count the number of medals they have. And then, we also had like a school book at the end of the day where your pictures holding your cards would come. So it's indirect pressure was definitely there. I think 10th standard, there was a lot of pressure to do well or score well, because people say that was
board exams are the
Exactly.
Last question of the day. Like, how did your teachers behave with y'all, and like, were they very strict or not, and like, what were the punishments y'all got?
So our teachers were actually very good when it came to teaching. They were very strict and firm, yes.
Yeah.
But punishments were not anything crazy. So if you were out of the line, worse come worse, they would take you to the principal's office and your parents would get called. very rare cases or rumors we've heard from other standards or someone else would be rarely someone was suspended
Yeah.
temporarily or something, but that was super rare or pretty much a rumor, something we I think never saw firsthand. But maximum you would get is a scolding, or they would ask you to just like step out of the class and worst case kneel down or stand with your hands raised, or just leave the class if you misbehave or you misspoke. But yes, there would be times if someone really misbehaved, and I know we had one or two teachers who would like, I think for boys, they would just twist their ear and take them to the principal's office at the worst. I think nothing more than that has happened, but it's mainly getting that scolding from the principal.
Principal.
Yeah.
Thank you for your precious time.
Thank you for taking this.
Thank you so much.